because I'm not sure how to share on what's this red button right here.
I got you. What's going on, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Bias with a Little Truth. I'm not in the logo, the main show logo, as you can see. No decop here today. I am filling in for Daryl.
Yes. Yes.
I'm filling in for Daryl today. No Daryl. It is going to be me and Reggie, King of the Troll Site, as Daryl likes to call him. But we're going to try to, you know, I don't know how argumentative I'm going to get today. I think me and Reggie will agree on a lot of stuff. So we'll see how it goes today, though. Reggie, good to have you. We have not done a show one-on-one yet, so this will be an interesting little dynamic here today.
Oh yeah. We just did a little pre-show, so we're gonna see how everything works out, man. But I'm sure me and you will get along a lot better than that Dummy D cop for sure. So this is gonna be. I'm excited to do the show with you today.
There we go. We're gonna have a good show. I'm excited to get into it. You know, Sunday we did a really long show regarding the tournament. We did a little bit of buy or sell with the NBA teams. We talked about the WNBA. So we're gonna kind of go over some things. Mainly about the tournament and mainly about the NBA. But this is not, I'm just here to kind of guide the show along today. So, Reggie, I'm going to give you the floor. Where do you want to hit on first?
Okay, first, I think we should send a shout out to our sponsors, and I'll let you handle that.
There you go. I appreciate that.
Then we'll come back. We got to keep the sponsors happy. You know what I mean?
I appreciate the reminder. Yeah, we want to give a big thank you to our sponsors, Matt Gaddis over there at State Farm. If you need any insurance help, make sure to contact Matt Gaddis for all of your insurance needs. And then secondly, big thank you to Wire to the Nines. If you need any low voltage help, make sure to contact Wire to the Nines. And then secondly, Big Z's. Big thank you to Big Z's. We'll be doing a show from there live April 4th next Saturday. Make sure to tune in 7 to 8 o'clock. We'll be giving away 3 pairs of Pacer tickets. No, Reggie, can't enter the giveaway. You're already a season ticket holder, so we got to give those to people that maybe aren't a season ticket holder, but it'll be a great show. And now I will hand the floor over to Reggie, and he's going to get us kicked off here. Reggie, where do you want to start?
Okay, we're definitely going to start with NCAA first, and then we'll let everybody else know where we go from there. But I think, do you want to talk about the past games first, and then we can talk about the upcoming games? I mean, the game that I was really – go ahead, I'm listening.
No, you go ahead. I was just going to say, I think we can bounce around. I'm going to pull up the bracket here and put it on screen for us.
Okay. Because the game I was really excited about, man, was that Kansas game. That game surprised the heck out of me. I actually thought Kansas had the perfect strategy late in the game to do those 4 fouls to get the time off the clock and rush. But then the gates part like the Red Sea, and the guy hits the layup. I was like, oh no, what would happen? I know the friend of the show, Corey Pimp, wasn't a little too happy about that because he's a strong Jayhawk fan, man. But that was a very, very, very exciting game to me, man.
No, I thought it was a great game, and I wanted St. John's to win. I had St. John's getting pretty far into the tournament. But there is a stat that I don't know if you've seen. Every year Duke has won a national championship, they have actually had to play St. John's. I'm going to pull that up here in a second, but I saw that earlier today that in every year Duke has, I think, made it or won to the national championship. I think it's won. Every time they've won the national title, they've had to play St. John's on the road to get there. So I could be wrong. I'm going to pull it up again because I saw it earlier today. But I'm really hoping for St. John's. I still believe I still believe Arizona is the best team in this tournament overall. I wasn't too impressed with Arkansas against High Point, so I think Arizona will come away with that game. My second strongest team in the tournament right now is probably Michigan State. I really like how well the Spartans are playing at this moment in time. And there's a lot of good teams. I've been very hard on Purdue. But there is a lot of good teams. Right. Like Iowa State against Kentucky. I mean, that game was so close, and then we got to the second half, and Iowa State, they went on to I think it was a 15-2 run in the second half. So there was a lot of good basketball this weekend.
So, first of all, you and Coach are some haters. Y'all hate on Purdue, and y'all hate on the Cavs. I just don't understand.
We can talk about the cast today if you want. I have no problem.
We'll say that for the second segment of the day.
Yeah.
But the hate on Purdue, look, I've been doing shows, and Daryl's been hating on Purdue, talking about the guards too short. They're not. What has happened with Purdue, their defense has really picked up, and they're switching real good. And that pick and roll is just working to perfection from the all-time assist leader of the NCAA basketball. I mean, it's just great to see them work it out later in the season. Usually when you have a losing streak like that, you don't work it out. You out in the second round, which Durrell was hoping for, the loser. So I'm just, my tag says Homer Reggie. You see my tag?
Yeah.
It says Homer Reggie, King of Trolls. So no matter what Durrell says, I can cheer for Indiana and Purdue.
Yeah.
I don't pick one or the other. I'm from Indiana. I cheer for, I say it every show. I cheer for Butler. I cheer for Valparaiso. I cheer for UIndy. I cheer for Purdue. I cheer for all the Indiana schools. So, yeah, I'm happy with Purdue. And in the bracket that we have with Crossroads Sports, I picked Purdue to win it all. Yes, I did.
Okay. And I want to clarify, I don't hate Purdue, right? There's no hate for Purdue on my side. I look at them like I look at Notre Dame football. I'm going to call it, listen. I'm going to call it like it is, and you can agree with me. In the biggest moments, they don't get the job done, right? And everybody said, well, they made it to a national champ. Did they win it? They didn't win it. That's all I'm saying. I'm not a hater. I don't hate Purdue. I don't hate Notre Dame. Do I not like the fan base of Notre Dame? No, I have no issues with Purdue's fan base. All I lay out on the table, just like with James Harden, is he or Purdue or Notre Dame, they can't get the job done. I think Texas will beat Purdue whenever the game is.
So look, let me break it. I'm gonna go off on a little bit of a tangent, and I'm gonna bring up something that has nothing to do with today's show. But a few shows ago, I got in a big debate with my good friend Alan Jeans. Yes, I said his full government name. I don't call him Al. He's a big Bengals fan. And Durrell, and you saw the show, Durrell was defending Joe Burrow. And what did I say? I said Joe Burrow is a good quarterback, but what has he won? And Durrell said, well, he got him to the Super Bowl. This is basically the same thing that you're saying.
You sure that was him? That may have been me when I was last on the show.
No, Durrell said that.
Oh, he did?
He said he's trying to get me to say that Joe's a great quarterback. And I said, Joe's a good quarterback, but what has he won? So we're on the same page with that. Purdue's going to get it done. There's a lot of teams that ain't won a championship. Well, so I'm not going to beat up on Purdue on that.
Fair. I'm not saying they're a bad program or nothing. My only thing is when we're analyzing the tournament or we're analyzing the college football playoff and we're analyzing these things, my immediate reaction to a Purdue or a Notre Dame or hell, even if we're talking NBA, the 76ers, it's, well, I know they'll be there, but I don't think they can get it done. That's my only criticism of Purdue and Notre Dame. And just back to the tournament in Purdue's case, I don't think they can get it done. I hope they can get it done, right? I don't want an Indiana team to lose, but I don't think they can get it done. That's just how it's always been with Purdue, it feels like.
So Purdue will beat Texas. Texas has played a lot of games. I know they had a little break here.
Texas is physical.
And Purdue is physical. Purdue likes physical play.
I agree.
But I'm telling you right now, Purdue will beat Texas by 10 points. And you heard it here first.
Okay.
You heard it here first. Purdue will beat Texas by 10 points. Now a game that I saw was interesting was the UConn-UCLA game. That game was actually pretty close until later in the game. And if UCLA had one of their better players, they would have probably beat UConn. I cannot stand UConn. I cannot stand the Hurleys.
You don't like Hurley?
I put them in the same boat I put the University of Alabama. I do not like them. I don't know what it is. That's my bias.
I like Hurley.
Also true.
I'm looking back at it. I'm glad Hurley didn't take the Laker job, but I don't mind Dan Hurley. I can appreciate his aggressiveness and the way he coaches. I can appreciate it. Does he come off as a prick? Yes, but a lot of Mick Cronin comes off as a prick, right? But Darryl likes Mick Cronin, so it's a yin and yang type thing. I like Mick Cronin and I like Dan Hurley. I don't have a problem with either of them. I think the UConn-Michigan State game is going to be a coaching masterclass. You got two of the best head coaches in college basketball, and Tom Izzo and Dan Hurley. I expect Michigan State to win. I think Michigan State's one of my more, out of all the teams in the tournament, right? You talk about momentum. I think Michigan State has a lot of momentum behind them. I mean, obviously UConn does too, but I think Michigan State, there's something about them that I really like. I think another team that right now, if I had to look at it, and if I look at all the divisions and everything else, right? So Duke and St. John's would play. I think St. John's will win. I think St. John's overall can win the game. So I would go St. John's. Michigan State and UConn, I'd probably say Michigan State. Arizona, Arkansas. I really love Acuff, but I think Arizona's the best team in this tournament, bar none. Texas, Purdue. I already said I think Texas. Michigan, Alabama. This is probably the one, like, when you get down to this bottom half of the bracket, Reggie, all four of these games, I can't really pick a true winner out of all these. Iowa, Nebraska, I think could be fairly close, but I would probably give the edge to Nebraska. Michigan, Alabama. I don't have a hate towards Alabama. I don't have a hate towards Michigan. I think both of these teams are really good, but I am going to give Michigan just the slight edge because they've been very good all year. But these two games at the bottom, Tennessee, who I think's looked good throughout the whole tournament, and even in the SEC tournament, Iowa State, who put a whooping on Kentucky in the second half, and then Illinois and Houston, these two games right near, I couldn't even tell you who's going to win these. These are the two games where I'm like, I wouldn't even want to touch these.
I'm going to tell you who's going to win them. Iowa State's going to beat Tennessee. My mom is from the great state of Tennessee, but I cannot, in honesty, say that Tennessee's going to win it. You get high on Tennessee, you get high on football, you get high on basketball. What do they do?
They let you down. Good point.
So Tennessee's in the same boat with you and Purdue. That's how I'm treating Tennessee State then.
I think to an extent, because Tennessee's not really, they haven't made the playoffs in football. It's not like we know they're going to be there every year. So I to an extent, but not to that full extent, if that makes sense. But I get what you're saying. That's a good point.
And I will admit, Tennessee has looked good up until this point.
Yes,
but I admit, after the Big Ten, that Big 12 conference was a hell of a conference. Yeah. So I just think that Iowa State is really going to embarrass Tennessee.
We'll see.
And I'm a Big Ten guy. Yeah. So Illinois, I don't like the state of Illinois. The only thing I like about the state of Illinois is that I have family members from the state of Illinois. Okay. But Illinois just happens to be in the Big Ten. And I'm saying the Big Ten is going to be over the Big 12. It's going to be a close game, but that Illinois, I've been impressed with them kind of like all year, really. Yeah. So I think Illinois is going to be – I think it's going to be a close game because Houston's a very good team.
I think Houston gets it. I'm going to say Houston. I'll go the other way there. Houston was in the Natty last year, right? Mm-hmm. They got the pedigree. I like Houston a lot. So maybe I'll go Houston. We'll split there. I do agree with you on Iowa State, though, for sure. Corey in the chat, go State. Okay.
What's up, Corey? What's up, Corey?
There you go. I'm assuming he means Michigan State, right? Or is he talking about Iowa State?
I think he's saying Iowa State.
Okay.
I think he's saying Iowa State. So, yeah.
It'll be interesting. I think right now it's hard to rank all these teams. Would you agree with me? Arizona's the definitive number one. Like that's probably the favorite amongst the consensus. They're the best. I think because that's how I felt for a majority of the year when I watched them play BYU. I watched them play Kansas. To me they've proven all year that they're the team to beat.
Arizona and Duke are probably the top two teams on people's bracket list. But I am in another contest, in one of those contests I have Michigan. Once again, I do not like the great state of Michigan, but them guys are playing good ball. I really do think that Arkansas can beat Arizona, but all their players have to show up.
Yeah, that's a good point. And the High Point game was one of their worst games.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't look great against High Point. It was a good basketball game. But
great game. Mm-hmm.
Arizona has a lot more weapons compared to Arkansas, and I think that could really affect them in this game. If Acuff's not on, if Acuff isn't on, and the rest of the team isn't on, Arizona's going to run them out the gym.
They're in trouble. They're in trouble.
Yeah.
And I didn't pick it in my bracket, and I'm mad that I didn't. Mm-hmm. I did have St. John getting this far, but the way St. John's is looking to me, I think St. John's can beat Duke. Because really right now, Duke is not playing I hate Duke. My son loves Duke. I did not raise a kid to like Duke.
I don't have and you can ask Daryl, I don't have like a college football team. I don't have a college basketball. I love Butler. Like that's my Indiana team. I really, really love Butler. So I don't have like a hate towards Duke or maybe a little hate towards Duke because they beat Butler that one year, but I was too young to really remember it.
Yeah.
But either way, I don't mind. I wouldn't mind if Duke wins because I've been saying all year I'd like to see one of these guys at the top of the draft maybe win the national championship. But Rick Pitino is one of my favorite head coaches, so I hope Pitino and St. John's can get it done. I'm hoping they can go all the way, but we'll see.
I didn't pick St. John's on my sheets, but I'm picking St. John's today.
There you go. Okay,
I'm picking St. John's because to me Duke has played down to the town. What scares me about St. John's, they have a hard time making shots. Their defense is there, but they have a hard time scoring. They will go on a dry spell, and with Duke, you cannot afford to go on that dry spell. So Corey said he liked Michigan State and Iowa State.
That's not. Iowa State looks good.
Spell. They just cannot afford it.
I think Michigan State and UConn, this is a toss-up. I mean, you can take it either way. I mean, if Michigan State wins, I wouldn't be surprised. UConn wins, I wouldn't be surprised. You got two great coaches.
Izzo is doing a master class in coaching this year. I have to give it to him, you know. Yeah. He's coaching his butt off. You know, if that point guard can keep his head on straight, they could cause some problems. They could cause some problems.
For sure. I think it'll be a great tournament. Tournament's already been great. I've gotten to see a lot of great games, and now we're really getting to the fun part here where a lot of these games are going to be close, as if a lot of them already haven't been close. Not only that, like even on the women's bracket, you know, once you get down to about the Sweet 16, the Elite 8, those games start to get close. So I'm excited about it all around.
I think this college basketball season has really been very, very exciting. And, you know, with my Pacers and the injuries and the losses, I've focused a little bit more on college basketball than pro ball this year. Yeah. It's just been a great season. But you know what? You brought up women's basketball. And I just want to tell a few people that Dawn Staley, she's a great coach, but she's a great person. I know Louis Vuitton sponsors her, or she buys Louis Vuitton. When Southern University got to town to play the number 1 seed, she gave all the players Louis Vuitton perfume. Other teams come, she's fed them meals. She's just an ambassador of women's sports and propping up the sport and defending players and stuff. I just like how classy she has been. Then she goes out and beat my Southern University by 80 points. I'm like, golly, I understand why you got the Louis Vuitton gift. But I just want to say I'm impressed with how classy she is and how good of a coach she is.
And by the way, that stat that I told you earlier in the show is true. Yes, in each of Duke's 5 NCAA men's basketball division or basketball championship seasons, 91, 92, 01, 2010, and 2015, the Blue Devils defeated St. John's at some point during the season. Only one of these matchups took place in the tournament, 1991 Elite 8 win, while the others occurred during the regular season. But still, right? And that is a fact. Every time they have at least played St. John's, they have won the national title. So take that with what you will. I know Daryl isn't all about the coincidence and the conspiracy theories, but that's just something I saw earlier today.
He's the biggest. He believes in aliens and everything. So yeah, you know, Daryl. Man, take Daryl with a grain of salt, man. You know, I mean, you know, I'm really enjoying you on the show today, man. I may have to change the logo. It may have to be me and you. I may have to get the Daryl out of here, man. You're doing a great job today, man. Yeah.
I want to ask you something because you brought up my guy Joe Burrow. You know, you said he isn't great, but my counter argument to this is this. Yes, I know he's been injured a lot and whatnot, but I think he's still on the same level as Allen and Jackson because none of these guys have a ring on their finger quite yet. I think talent level, you could swap them. You could swap the three of them on each roster, right? You could put Lamar on the Bengals, Allen on the or on the Ravens, and whatever is in Burrow on the Bills, and I think they'd all still have the same level of performance. Whether, in my opinion, I think they're all three great. I think, but at the end of the day, they all have one thing in common: they have not been able to get it done yet.
So out of those three, I would take Joe. If it was draft and I got the number one pick, and those three are in the draft.
Yeah,
and my buddy Allen Jeans, my buddy Allen Jeans and Larry Seawood. There's some big. Those are only two Ickey Wood fans I know. You may be.
I'm a Burrow guy, so I'm a Burrow.
Do you know who Ickey Woods is?
I do not.
So you gotta Google Ickey Woods. He was a pretty good running back for the Bengals in their championship year, and he had the cold cut commercials. Got me some cold cuts. You ever see that commercial?
Yeah. I remember. Yeah.
So Ickey Woods was a great quarterback, and those guys would be happy to say that I would take Joe Burrow over the other two. I think his accuracy is just a little bit better. I think the other ones are they may run for you, Allen,
Mahomes,
and Lamar.
Jackson, yeah.
But I would take Jackson over Allen because to me, sometimes he gets a little careless with the ball.
See, I disagree. I think I would take Allen over Jackson. But I think in the terms of the playoffs, I would probably take Allen, or I would, when it comes to the regular season, probably give me Lamar all day. But when it comes to the playoffs, I would take Allen or Burrow over Lamar easy.
Okay.
I think I'm going off the stats there. Jackson has the worst playoff record out of the rest of them, but yes. Jackson and it's weird because we talked about it last offseason. Allen has a above 500 record on Mahomes in the regular season, but in the playoffs he's 0 for 4. It's a crazy thing. Like, he's beaten him plenty of times in the regular season. He can't seem to do it in the playoffs. But I've said it this offseason when the Bills made all these acquisitions and the Ravens almost had Max Crosby but got Hendrickson. I'm done talking about Allen and Jackson because what more is there to say? We've been talking about these guys last year. We're going to talk about these guys for another 8 to 12 months when we get back to the same point in the playoffs. There's nothing more to say about those two guys. And the same thing for Burrow. And Burrow's my favorite quarterback in the league. So, but for all three of them, it's the same thing. What's more to talk about with you than you need to get the job done because the Chiefs aren't going to be that good.
See, one thing you and Durham in common, you always get me off subject. I don't remember talking about the NFL in our pre-production minute.
You brought up Burrow just a little bit, so I was like,
I did bring up Joe, But you will hear it here first. The Bengals will never in life, while I'm on this earth, win a Super Bowl. They will be just good enough.
Okay.
Do you remember the catch?
Do you think Burrow wins a Super Bowl?
If he leaves the Cincinnati Bengals, yeah.
Yeah.
If he leaves the Cincinnati Bengals.
Because I think Burrow has an outlier to the other two because Burrow doesn't have a complete roster. But but to counter argument that, it's kind of like Giannis. You asked for them to pay these certain guys or go get these certain guys. So it's your fault you don't have an offensive line, and it's your fault you don't have a defense because all your money is held up on three players pretty much. So it's kind of like Dallas, but luckily they got rid of Micah. So for Burrow, he has an argument as to why he's not being as successful with the injuries in the roster, but at the end of the day, it still is going to fall on him just like it falls on Allen and Jackson.
I can agree with you on that. All right. Yeah. You want to go back to back? Who did you pick to win it all? That's my next question.
For me, probably Arizona. Yeah, I have Arizona. I was supposed to do the bracket, and I submitted my bracket. And then, I did the bracket for the whole thing that we were doing, and then it didn't save, and it was too late. But I had Arizona winning it. I had Arizona and St. John's.
Oh, okay.
That's what I had originally. I don't remember the rest of the bracket. I don't know why it didn't save. But it didn't save. So I was like, well,
you did it on your phone, didn't you?
Yeah, it didn't save. I should have done it on my computer or something because it did not save.
Yeah, that's old guys. We still like to do stuff on our computers and stuff. So yeah,
I got Arizona and St. John's. I kind of went a little safe there, but I think Arizona, to me, I mean, I've watched a good amount this year. Arizona's looked and has felt like the best team in basketball all year. I know Duke's is probably the second best team in the whole tournament. I don't know. Maybe it's because I haven't watched a lot of Duke. Like I've watched a lot of Arizona. I've watched a lot of St. John's. I've even watched a lot of Gonzaga, even though I look at Gonzaga the same way I look at Purdue. But
okay,
but that's kind of what I've got Arizona and St. John's for sure.
So that's not you on the Game Time Sports. I was trying to go to the brackets to see where Durrell is on these brackets.
104 was Florida, Iowa State, Michigan State, Arizona. Florida got bounced out. Who did Florida lose to?
Florida lost to a Big Ten team, didn't they? Florida lost to.
I gotta look. Was it? It wasn't Vanderbilt. Why did I think?
No, it was it.
It was Iowa. It was Iowa. Yes, I could not remember. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, Iowa. Hey man, the Big Ten is not only a football conference; it's a basketball conference. The Big Ten needs to win a championship this year because it's been. Man,
I don't think they will. Your best bet's Michigan State or Michigan.
And Purdue. How long has it been since Big Ten has won a championship? Let me go to my chat GPA and find out real quick. That's a good question. How long has it been?
But no, it'll be a good tournament. We're gonna switch over to here to NBA in just a couple minutes. It'll definitely be interesting to talk a little NBA with Reggie. We're gonna nip this Cleveland thing in the bud. I've had everybody talking about Cleveland. Okay, we'll nip this Cleveland thing in the bud today too. So this will be interesting. I don't know when's the last time a Big Ten teams won the tournament.
I'm looking at it right now. The last time the Big Ten won a national championship was in 2000. Michigan State cut down.
No way.
Last Big Ten national title, Michigan State, 2000. Years since, so it's been 26 years. 26 years. 26 years.
Oh my gosh, wow. You're not lying.
26 years.
What?
Yeah, that's amazing. That is really amazing. So the Big Ten needs to get back to their core. They got a bunch of
go Pacers. We were just talking about this on yesterday's or on Sunday's show, but I'll talk about it a little more here later on. But yes, go Pacers. What were you saying, Reggie? My bad. I didn't mean to cut you off.
Who said go Pacers? I need to. Who was that?
It was Darren Kelly.
Oh yes. Darren Kelly. He's another hater and a Dallas Cowboy fan.
Hey, Darren, I appreciate you. I don't know if you've seen a lot of the show, but I've had a lot of therapy sessions on this show talking about Dallas. So I am right there with you. If you ever need to talk, DM me on Facebook, Instagram. We can do a little group Dallas Cowboys therapy if you ever need to. So thank you. It's good to know that.
He's a big Cowboys fan, and he follows Durrell a lot, and I don't know why. Maybe because they both Alabama State fans and losers, so that could be the reason why. So thank you for tuning in, Darren. But your buddy isn't on the show today. I got a better host today. Now what?
Well, I don't want to do that. I love Darrell's great, especially on the business side. He's helped me a lot. Corey, I don't know if we need all that, man. Look, all right, we're not worried about Dallas. We're gonna head over to the NBA. I'm gonna pull up the standings real quick. Reggie, where do you want to hit as on NBA? I'm gonna pull up the standings here real quick.
Let's talk Pacers and let's talk Lakers. That's who plays tonight. Let's talk about the King James. Let me tell you what I told you earlier in the year.
Let me go grab my Lakers jersey. I'll be right back.
The Lakers are not going to win a championship.
Yep,
the Lakers will probably lose in the first round of the playoffs if they make the playoffs. Where are they sitting in the playoffs?
They're gonna make the playoffs. They're the third seed. They'll definitely make the playoffs.
They're gonna make the playoffs.
They'll make the playoffs.
I hadn't been as much on the NBA this year since I don't have to buy playoff tickets since the Pacers aren't in it. But the Lakers are the last team that I would worry about.
Whoa. Reggie. Oh, wait, Corey, you're a Washington. So is my mom. So you know what? Fair enough. I disagree with you. I don't think the Lakers. I think the Lakers are better than the Rockets right now. And you can go off the gate. Well, hold on, because all the hate you give me in the chat when we talk about the Lakers You can't do that. And then when I bring up Houston, we're just saying, oh, well, that's the Rockets. We've gotta nip this in the bud today. And like I've told everyone since the show, I'm the most realistic Laker fan you've ever met. I said at the beginning of the year, we look like a first round exit. I've been very straightforward on that all year. Now, after watching a lot of these games, right? We've played well against Minnesota. We've played well against the Rockets. I don't really want to play Denver because we're not good against Denver. We just haven't been the last couple of years. Okay. But will say this. I think we can beat Minnesota in round 1, and I think we can beat Houston in round 1 because that's probably who we're going to match up against in the first round if you look at it right now. I would like Houston or Minnesota. I really don't want to play Denver. I think right now the weakest team in the West, if we're taking the top 6 teams in the West, because that's who the media views as, let's say, contenders, right? Even though it's really a two-headed race between the Thunder and the Spurs, I think the Rockets are the worst team out of the Lakers, Nuggets, Timberwolves, and Rockets. I think the Lakers are probably behind Minnesota and Denver, but if you look at it right now, with the Nuggets' health and Minnesota not being the best offensive team come playoff time, I think you can kind of move these teams wherever you want when it comes to 3 through 6. I don't think any of them can beat 1 or 2, but if we're just looking at these 4, I think the Lakers can be moved around wherever you want them. I think all these teams are close.
I can agree with you somewhat on that. You and Coach were talking about the West. The West is the power conference. Ain't nobody worried about the East.
It is the power conference.
We want Minnesota and Memphis to come over to the East because it'll be an easier road for them. It switches from time to time. The last few years, yes, the West has been a power conference. But in years past, it was the East was the power conference. So every 4 or 5 years, you're going to have alignment of which conference is the strongest.
I don't know. I feel like all the years.
Every team in the East is not going to be there. They're going to lose. The team that's coming out not the East. The team coming out the West is Wemby and the San Antonio Spurs.
Okay, and I don't disagree with you. I would like that. I think it's the Spurs or the Thunder. I think they're right here. Everybody else is everybody down a little bit, but
the Spurs.
My only criticism of the Spurs, my only criticism of the Spurs is their lack of playoff experience. And I think a team like the Nuggets, a team like the Timberwolves, hell, maybe even the Lakers or Rockets could use that against them come playoff time. You know, I think Wemby will be a great player. But first playoff series for a lot of those guys, right? And De'Aaron Fox, he has not been shooting the ball well from 3. He's got to step that up. He's only shooting about 35% from 3. He needs to get that to 40% come playoff time, or I do believe the Spurs could be in trouble come the second round. But other than that, if they figure it out and playoff experience be damned, yes, I think they can get to the finals.
The Spurs are not in trouble no more because Wemby is not in awe of NBA players anymore. The last couple of games, when people push him around, he pushed Pascal the other day. I've seen him push other players. He's not getting pushed around anymore. He's getting a little bit of a mean streak because, hey, y'all not going to keep jumping me, making me lose. Yeah. Wemby is going to be a problem barring injury.
Yep.
Wemby is going to be a problem. Now, I just don't see anybody beating the Spurs. The Thunder have a chance. The Lakers, second round out. So you can be all happy and get your Lakers shakers and cry. Yeah, you know why I'm so high on the Lakers? You know why I'm so hot on the Lakers?
Why is that?
Every team that King James go to and his bandwagon fans go to,
yes,
they make me hate them. I've never been a Lakers fan. They make me hate them even more.
If you look back there, that is a Kobe Bryant jersey. And if you look right here, this is a Luka jersey. So I do have some LeBron memorabilia right back there, but none of it's Laker-esque. I'm not a Laker fan because LeBron came to the Lakers. Kobe made me a Laker. That right there has a 2009 finals patch on it. So I'm here for the Lakers. I'm not here for Bron. I am a Kobe fan, but I'm not a massive Kobe fan. I'm here for my Lakers, and that's it. I'm a Laker fan at heart.
So Kobe was not only a great scorer,
he was a good defender.
But he's a great defender.
Yes.
Luka is
not below average.
Until he can learn to play defense, the Lakers won't win jack.
Well, I
would continue to put him in pick and rolls or whatever. The Lakers won't win jack if Luka doesn't learn to play defense.
And I would agree. And my counter argument would be this. I think it was talked about this last year on the show, and I know you remember when we were talking about the Pacers and we talked about the effort that Tyrese Halliburton was putting in on defense.
Yes.
I believe that Luka needs to do the same thing. And if you watch, and I watch the Laker games as much as possible. In those Rocket games, as much as people may not like JJ Redick, the best thing that they're doing is, especially out on the perimeter, they're sending two to the ball. Instead of putting Luka out on an island by himself, they're bringing the double. Now, I don't know. That may not work in the playoffs, but it worked against the Rockets. And that is your hypothetical right now first round matchup. And he's active on defense. Not only that, he's cut weight. So I think there is a chance. And look, he was in the finals 2 years ago with a roster that was surrounded by defensive-minded role players. The Lakers have to construct this roster better for him and Austin Reeves. And I agree with Daryl, and I agree with you. If you got Austin Reeves and Luka as your backcourt, that's who's going to be the point of attack for the other team all the time. So in the offseason, when you get rid of Bron, you probably don't bring back Ayton. You spend that money and you get guys that are just like the Dallas team.
Ayton has actually played pretty good defense for y'all.
I don't want Ayton back because he's been so wishy-washy of, I want the ball. Oh, I don't need the ball. I need to play my role. Either know your role or get out. And so this, for me, it's a one-year thing. He's played good, but go get your money somewhere else because I personally want somebody, unless there's nobody we can get. If we can't go get Walker Kessler, if Ayton's the only option, sure, pay him, bring him back. But I would like more defensive-minded guys on the roster next to Luka and AR because that's what you need to be successful.
I would love to see the Clippers have to play the Lakers in the playoffs and beat them, and Ben go in there and dominate because I am a person who kind of somewhat likes the Clippers a little bit since Ben is there. But the thing about the Clippers now is, well, you gave the Pacers your center. You have a hard time rebounding the ball now, you know? That's just hilarious how that problem went from the Pacers to the Clippers, you know?
But I think offensively they're better. They're definitely better offensively.
But rebounding-wise, they're not.
And that'll be a struggle because if the playoffs started today and say they beat the Suns in the play-in, they play the Spurs. And, that's not going to work out too well for you. So I think the Clippers would be in a good spot if they were the 6th seed. But I think since they're going to be in the play-in and have to play the Spurs or the Thunder, you probably lose in 5, maybe 6 games, right?
So if they're in a play-in game, who plays in a play-in game at this moment right now?
It would be the Suns and the Clippers. They would play, and then the winner would play. The winner gets the 7th seed, and then and then the loser between the Suns and the Clippers plays the winner of Blazers Warriors to get the 8th seed. Is how it works.
Clippers will make it out of the play-in game.
Yeah, I think they would beat Phoenix, but I don't. Daryl's gave it a lot of flack to the Suns and Devin Booker. They looked good all year. Not having Dylan Brooks is going to hurt because defensively and offensively he's helped them a lot. So that's why I would give the edge to the Clippers right now to get that 7th seed.
Okay, I can go with that.
I would agree with you with the West. I think it's the Spurs and the Thunder's conference to lose. But keep an eye on the Timberwolves. They've been to back-to-back Western Conference Finals and always rises up come the playoffs. I would not count them out. And then if the Nuggets get healthy, I wouldn't count them out either. And the Lakers are just kind of in the middle, separating the two in the standings right now. So we'll see.
Yeah, I would say Spurs, OKC.
Minnesota's my definitive 3rd place, though. They're in 3rd for me right now.
And I would put Minnesota and Denver at a tie at 3rd.
That's fine.
3B, 3A. That's how I would do that. I've been hearing a lot of reports about the Rockets and how KD is upset, or not upset, but he doesn't know what to do next to get the paper to play.
Of course he doesn't. Of course he's not LeBron. He doesn't know how to make his teammates better. That's why he'll never. That's why Daryl's not on the show, so I get to bash on KD without having any backlash. He's not LeBron. He doesn't know.
Hey,
he doesn't unless he has a Klay Thompson and a Steph Curry and two other All-Stars around him. He doesn't know how to be great. He can't make other people better. That's why he'll never be one of the greatest.
Ray Allen got James his ring, right?
That's just one shot though. That's just one shot. That's just a shot. But Bron had what? Bron had a double that game that they still won.
Ray Allen got him a ring. Who got him the ring in Cleveland? Kyrie Irving got him a ring.
Didn't Steve Kerr get Michael Jordan a ring?
Yeah, but I'm just saying you brought up the argument of Golden State and KD. You brought up that argument,
and then you brought up Bron, so I brought up Jordan.
I'm just saying, Bron has he may need to. Bron is Batman 1A, and there's not a Robin with him. There's always a Batman 2A. That's why he always got to go to a team with other superstars. That's why KD goes to other teams where he's going to be the superstar. Yeah, he left for that 1 year and went to Golden State and did what he did. Yeah. But yeah, I didn't have a problem with that. People chase rings. And then James
what has he done
after? Chased rings.
What has KD done after though? After Golden State?
What has James done? Besides the bubble year, that don't count. I put
that definitely counts. That definitely counts. That definitely counts.
Let me tell you something. If you're gonna count that, me and Daryl are gonna count the 3 ABA rings the Pacers got. If you're gonna count that,
I have no problem with that. That don't bother me. Talk to Adam Silver. I don't care. It's not gonna bother me. Lakers deserve that ring because I don't even want to get into the bubble because everybody has their opinion on it. But all I'm gonna say is Lakers had the best record all year in the West. Lakers looked good all year throughout the West. They were the best team at home record-wise all year. It's not my fault the season got slowed down, and then they were in an isolated area where all you had to do was play basketball. If you don't got the mental fortitude to just go play basketball, I don't know what to tell you.
The Lakers were so bad. The dummy Darren Kelly, there's in some of our sports groups, there's a bunch of dummies in these sports groups. And Darren Kelly is one of them. Daryl Cotton is the other one. And a dude by the name of Alabama Champion, he's another one. Yeah. Darren Kelly's a big Lakers fan also. But he will get off the bandwagon real fast and cheer for somebody else. He's a bandwagon guy. There's another guy, Jason Pierre. He's a bandwagon guy.
Well, listen, I want to tell Darren and Jason Pierre right now, look, we're probably going to lose in the first or second round, but that's okay. We're going to get LeBron off our books. That's $56 million to play with. We're going to go get some defensive guys.
Are you sure?
We're going to go get some defensive guys. Yeah, I'm sure. I'm sure. You know how many you realize I've made so many offensive comments to LeBron James that I always have black SUVs sitting outside my house. I always got the Bron crews on watch every time I talk. So I already know. I've already talked to his camp. He's either going to Golden State or he's going to go to Cleveland. I already know this. So we're going to use this money next year, and we're going to get a lot of 3 and D guys. Because I told Rob Pelinka, I went into his office and I hung up a poster, and all it says is 3 and D. That's all it says up there. Don't get nothing else. They need to do this on defense, Reggie. They need to go like this, and then they need to be able to catch and shoot the 3. Nothing else. Okay. That's all I need from the roster next year. And then let Luka and AR do what they do best.
Okay. I don't know. I don't know about all that, but you and Daryl are some of the biggest James haters. Y'all 1A, 1B.
James Harden haters or LeBron hater? I'm not a LeBron hater.
You're not a LeBron hater? It's just
I'm not a LeBron. I'm not. Hold on. Here, I got you. Hold on. I'm not no LeBron hater. Look what I got right here. It's a nice little LeBron James collectible. I love LeBron. I'm a big LeBron fan. I don't hate LeBron. But like I just said, I'm a Laker fan first. I am a Bron fan, but I'm a Laker fan first.
Well, your co-host on Game Time.
He's a LeBron. Time. I wouldn't say he's a LeBron hater. I just don't think he has an effect. He's not a Bron hater, and I don't think he's a Bron fan. He's in the middle. He will give.
No, he's not.
No. I'll defend him.
I've seen the post.
Whoa.
I've seen the post.
There's a difference. I think he credits Bron when it's due, and he doesn't credit Bron when it's not due. I admit some of his criticisms I'm like, I don't agree with, but that's everybody. You don't.
I've never seen a post on Facebook, on X, where we don't like X, where Daryl Cott has said he likes
a positive thing about. I don't think he but like I said, I don't think he likes LeBron, but I don't think he hates LeBron. I think he's just in the middle. Now he does like Kevin Durant. He does like KD. He does like Kevin Durant. I will give you that. That's
really. I'm impressed with James off the court. I've seen him take off his shoes and give them to kids. I've seen kids have a campaign to get somebody that had cancer to one of the games and did that. I like unlike Michael Jordan, I like how politically active he is and stands up for what's right and what's wrong. He's not scared to put his brand out there and face the backlash. Now, on the basketball court, I cannot stand him. And a little bit because he's beat the Pacers, a little bit because they've cheated for him. Victor Oladipo ball off the backboard that he blocked. That should have been goaltending.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
That should have been goaltending. I hated him in Miami. Them 3 bums. I mean, they cheat. I was at a Pacer game, and when he was in Miami, somebody came in there like he had won a championship with Miami already with 3 trophies on it. I said, these people don't even know. But his bandwagon fans, James, there's a lot of bandwagon fans that I truly dislike.
There is.
I dislike the James bandwagon fans. I dislike the Dallas Cowboy fans. I dislike there's a lot of I dislike the Pittsburgh Steelers fans, the Chicago Bears fans. I just hate them. Some of the reason I hate some of these teams is because of their fan base.
There you go. That's why I don't like. That's why I don't like. That's why I don't like Notre Dame fans right there. I want to get to this because I've got the two Cleveland Cavalier advocates in the building. I've got Reggie, and then I've got our longtime listener of the show, Eli, in here, who is a Cavs fan. He's from Cleveland. So I want to address this right now. I mean no ill will when I speak about the Cavaliers not getting to the finals or this or that. I'm not a Cleveland Cavaliers hater. I'm not even a James Harden hater. I just know what to expect from James Harden. But I did say on Sunday's show, I said this. I said if Cleveland is successful in the playoffs, it's because of Donovan Mitchell and it's because of Jared Allen and Evan Mobley in the front court on defense. Because Harden doesn't have to be the guy. When Harden's the guy in a game 6 or a game 7, he's not going to get the job done for you. But he's on a roster where he doesn't have to be the guy. But if he has to be the guy for Cleveland in these playoffs, they may lose in round 1 to Toronto. So I just want to say that right now. I'm not a Cleveland Cavaliers hater. I like Cleveland. I said at the start of the offseason, I said Cleveland's probably the favorite in the East. But that's changed, obviously. I don't like the Harden moves.
You are a hater of Cleveland.
I'm not a hater. I'm not a hater. I'm not a hater for Harden, but
let me tell you something.
I'm not a hater for Harden. I've seen it.
Shows ago.
Okay.
I've never liked the Cavs. Matter of fact, I didn't even have them making it out of the second round until I saw how good Harden fed it. No, I'm not a believer of Harden.
So
I don't even like Harden. But Harden has fit in with the Cavs. It's going to be the Cavs and Boston playing each other in the Eastern Conference Finals.
Reggie, Reggie, what part of the season are we in? What part of the season? What part of the? Just tell me what part of the season are we in? And
the finales. We're about to go into playoffs.
But it's still the what? It's still the what? It's still the
regular season.
Regular season. This is Harden's bread and butter. He loves playing in the regular. But then think of when we get to game 6 or game 7, he's gonna no-show.
Hey, do you know that how many years he's heard this?
What?
You know?
I know. You don't think
so? Basically, you saying James Harden is gonna be like Joe Burrow? He's gonna be a no-show. That's basically
no. Every time he's
been with the big one.
Hold on. Every time Burrow's been to the playoffs, he's had an AFC championship or a Super Bowl. Now he's a Josh Allen, maybe,
so
or a Lamar.
How many rings does Joe Burrow have?
He's got 0.
And I ain't talking about NCAA rings.
He's got 0, but look at his stats and look at Harden's stats. Because if I remember last year, game 7 against the Nuggets, he had 7 points and like 4 assists on horrible shooting.
Harden will show up this year because, like you said, like James and the Lakers. He doesn't have to be the guy anymore.
That's what we're doing.
Just like you said.
Well, hey, if I was a 41-year-old, it shouldn't have to. You shouldn't have to rely on me. So you know what? Good point.
Well, James bandwagon fans think he's the best thing. This year's Swiss cheese.
Trust me, I know.
Scott Nichols, who is a sponsor. Look, let's send out some shouts to the other sports, other podcasts, guys at Crossroads Sports. Scott Nichols is the biggest bandwagon fan for James there is. He was with him in high school. Then he left in high school. He went to the Cavs. Then he left and went to Miami with him. Then he left and went to the Lakers. So let me tell you this. Scott Nichols is from Detroit or Michigan or somewhere. So never in life have I ever heard him cheer for the Pistons until this year. So he has split loyalty between James and the one Pistons. And Durrell is wrong on that. The one Pistons wasn't going to win with Cunningham. I know I'm changing the subject on you.
No. I agree with you, though. I agree. I don't think the Pistons are going to come out of the
Durrell, and let me tell you something else about your co-host, Durrell. Okay?
Go ahead.
If Durrell ever picks a team to win something, pick the other team and you're going to win big money. Bet big on it.
I don't know about that.
Durrell is a super jinx.
I don't know about that. I don't think he's okay. We'll see. I want to address some comments here. Eli, always good to have you in the chat. Toronto.
I don't want Eli to think that I'm a Cavs fan, but I have been impressed with them, and I do got either the Cavs or Boston coming out the East.
Toronto can't match Allen and Mobley. I agree. A Laker fan, look at Reeves' defense. Like I just said, I think Reeves and Luka defensively aren't good, but that's why you have to go out this offseason and get defensive guys around him. The roster's not built to win right now, and I can fully admit that. So
what do the Lakers have to trade?
That's not the point. That's not what. But if you notice, if you notice, I didn't say trade. You're getting $56 million back because you're getting rid of a 41-year-old. That's where your money. That's where you get your money.
Look, players don't care about their brand in LA anymore. Yeah, Lakers.
That's fine.
People want to go to LA for the branding and everything.
We'll have money to spend to get role players. That's all we need.
These guys don't want to play with James. They want to beat James.
You realize James won't be there. That's my point. He won't be there.
All right.
James isn't going to be on the Lakers.
All right. I don't think he's going anywhere.
I think he's gone. I think it's time to move on. I think he won't be here.
So him and Bronny out. They're going to Cleveland.
I think Bronny will still be there, but LeBron's probably going to Cleveland or Golden State. I think that's what's going to happen.
He has too much business in LA right now. He ain't going anywhere. He had movies and shows.
He can go to the Clippers. He can go to the Clippers then. But he needs to get off my. He needs to get off my team. He needs to go out of here.
Okay.
See you later.
Okay.
But no, look. Like I said, I'm not a hater on Cleveland. I've seen the Harden story before, but I do agree he doesn't have to be the guy to win it all. But I think Boston's my favorite to come out of the East. Probably followed by New York, then Detroit, then Cleveland. I've got Cleveland listed at 4th right now.
Why do you let your co-host dog out Tatum like that?
I don't look. I don't know what the Jalen look. I look as I've learned in relationships and friendships. Sometimes you just have to let people win at certain arguments. There, sometimes some arguments aren't worth fighting for. And and you know what? Ramon went at him about the Jaylen Brown thing. I don't want to tell you because here's the thing. We talked about Jaylen Brown in the offseason, and he said Brown was going to play great and keep that team afloat. And I did not agree with him. So I have no leg room to stand on because I was completely wrong about Jaylen Brown keeping this team afloat. That is why I have not combated it because he proved me right in that sense because I didn't agree with the whole thing. Now, saying it's his team and not Tatum's, I don't know.
I agree with. I think it's both their teams. I think they get along great.
I think it's a
1A, 1B.
Yeah.
And at one day Tatum may be 1A, and one day Brown may be 1A. I don't like Boston. I hate Boston. But I don't like Cavs. But I'm just so now. This is not the bias part of the Reggie.
It's the truth.
The bias, not truth. This is the truth. So yeah, I give you a little bit of my biases. I told you I hate them, but truthfully, I can see Boston or the Cavs coming out of there. So yeah, there you go. Yeah, I got you.
healthy 76ers. I mean, yeah, Sixers are going to be interesting to watch.
No, they're not.
I think, well, here's the thing. I think if you look at 5 through 8, I'm not talking about 9 or 10, but if you look at 5 through 8, I think all 4 of those teams, probably minus Atlanta. I think Atlanta's the weakest out of the 4, but I think Toronto, Philadelphia, and Orlando, if healthy, can put up a fight against any of the 4 teams in the East. Think about it last year, right? The Magic took the Celtics to 6 games. A lot of people didn't think that. I did say on the show the Magic would give Boston a fight. I still believe that Orlando, a healthy Philadelphia, and Toronto can give Cleveland, New York, Celtics, or the Pistons trouble. I'm not saying they win the series, but if it goes to 6-7 games, I wouldn't be surprised if it's one of those 3 teams causing one of the top 4 problems.
So I didn't hear you say anything about the Hornets. I mean, I heard somebody say in your last show that they have a young, good core, but the Hornets can be a problem.
They could be a problem too. They're the 10th seed. It's going to be really hard for them to get into the playoffs because they're going to have to beat Miami and then beat the loser of Philadelphia and Orlando if it started today, hypothetically. Okay. So we'll see where they fall. I really like how the Hornets are playing. As someone that's had to defend LaMelo Ball a couple times on the show, I like how they look, but I'm not going to say nothing crazy just yet. You know, let's see.
Daryl doesn't like Ball either. I
like LaMelo, but his maturity is a question. But I think, I look at him in the sense of Tyrese just a little bit because he can pass the ball like Tyrese, not as good as Tyrese, but those are probably 2 of the best pure point guards in the league. And, there was a stat last year that LaMelo was shooting the ball the most out of all the point guards. That status has dropped a lot. He's like, I think 10th or 11th now in point guard shooting the ball. So I think LaMelo knows his role. He knows he can score, but you've got Knuppel, who's done really well. Brandon Miller is their clear offensive number 1 option.
Yes.
He's playing his role, and he can be the lead scorer some nights, but he knows the best way we can win is if I'm distributing the ball and being our creator and letting Brandon Miller and Knuppel go to work and get the bucket. So I think the Hornets could be scary, but it's going to be really hard for them to get into the playoffs, being that 9 or 10th seed. So if they get the 7th or 8th, then you just got to win 1 game to get the 7th seed. To be the 8th seed, you may have to win 2 games.
So what are you saying about the Knicks? Corey's a big Knicks fan. He's always yelling Knick tape and everything. What are your thoughts about them?
I think the Knicks have their windows like this. This is it. They got to get it done this year or the door's shut, because I said it on Sunday's show. We talk about this show being biased with a little truth. I'm going to be all next year talking about Pacers this, Pacers. Next year, I'm not giving anyone the light of day next year. Everybody in the East is going to lose to Indiana.
Hey, man.
But
first of all, people don't understand the NBA and how injuries work. The Pacers have had at one time, the Pacers had the Noblesville Boom plan for the whole team. And I know there's other teams with injuries, but they haven't had the amount of injuries that the Pacers have had. They may have a player or 2. The Pacers have had their whole squad out on walking Medicaid or whatever, People don't realize that.
I think New York, their window's now. You got to win this now, because I don't think you can win it next year. I really don't think you can win it this year, but I think New York is right up there with Boston and Detroit. I think New York and Cleveland, I'm probably not giving them the credit that they deserve, but I just think right now for me, Boston is the clear-cut number 1. And then, if you say Cleveland second, okay. If you say Detroit second, okay. If you say New York is second, okay. But I think if there's any year that New York needs to win the title, it's this year, because I don't think they're doing it this year, and I don't think they're doing it next year, because next year, think about it. Charlotte looks better in the second half of the year, right? So let's assume they're in the top 6 somewhere next year. Toronto, maybe they're a team that slips. Teams are getting better. And then you add the Pacers in there who are, let's say at worst, a top 5 seed. Somebody in that top 4 or 5 has got to slip, right? And I think New York, they're up against Father Time. You got to eventually pay Jalen Brunson max money because you got to pay Cat. You got Bridges. You can't pay all these guys. So eventually that door for New York is starting to close. It's starting to shut on this current roster, and you're going to have to make a decision here soon. And you're not winning the title next year. It's got to be this year.
Eli Tibbs doesn't know how to coach a bench. That's one thing that Woodson is doing better than Tibbs. He's coaching the bench.
You mean Brown.
I mean Brown. Yeah, I said Woodson, my bad. That's one thing that Brown is doing better than Tibbs. He plays. You cannot beat a team.
You can't
in
beat
7 games.
7 guys.
Did Duke? You know why that one school didn't beat Duke? Because they didn't sub a player in until the last 2 minutes of the game.
Yeah.
What team was that? Their starters played the whole first half and damn near the whole second half. I can't remember what game that was. Oh, I'm gonna think of it here a little too late. I need to have my notes on that one. But I'm not never impressed with the Knicks because I hate the Knicks too, because the Knicks versus the Hicks or whatever you want to say.
Yeah.
But that's it. Cena. If they had to use their bench, they could have won that game.
Yeah.
They could have won that game. With Tibbs don't sub the bench. He may use 1 or 2 players.
That's a great point.
Just like them, you know.
I think Tibbs is a good coach. I think Mike Brown's a good coach. I think for Mike Brown, you just got to get it done. I mean, I think the biggest thing for Mike Brown, the biggest memory I have of Mike Brown at this moment in time is that 2023 Kings team that took Golden State to 7 games, and we thought Sabonis and Fox were gonna be competitive for the next couple of years. Obviously, it didn't work out. So I know Mike Brown can coach a team to the playoffs, and he can coach them well through the playoffs. It's just about getting the job done. So I like New York, but like I said, and Corey even agrees with me, or Eli agrees with me. It's now or never. It seems like both of them do. Corey said we got to get to the finals at least. I agree, but it's going to be hard with Boston. But you guys beat Boston last year, and this is odd. And on paper, it's a worse team than last year with the moves they made. But we will see.
Knicks?
The Knicks. Not the Knicks. Sorry, not the Knicks. Boston. Not the Knicks.
Okay.
Boston.
Okay. Yeah, the Boston is on paper.
Knicks are better, honestly. They got Jordan Clarkson. They got a good bench.
Hey, they got the little point guard coming off the bench. They get on my nerves. Kind of remind me of a little TJ McConnell in the trade. But let me go back to the West because our show, we're about to get off here in a second.
Yeah.
The reason that Houston is having problems is because of an injury situation. Who's the point guard of Houston that hasn't played all year?
I know Fred VanVleet, yeah.
That is the problem.
And hold on. I love my co-host Daryl. I'll defend him whenever I can. But he's been telling me all year that the point guard position in Houston doesn't matter. I said they just needed a point guard at least, just someone that can facilitate and call the plays and stuff like that. I'm not saying it's got to be an all-star. He's just you just need a point guard. You just need a point guard.
I mean, like I said, Daryl don't know sports.
That's not true. That's not true. I disagree.
Hey, man, let me tell you something, man. I could come on the show with you and Brandon. I know racing. I can do that. And I'm a baseball guy. I'm a Dodgers guy. So I'm keeping up with baseball. I don't watch as much baseball during the regular season, but now that we're doing Game Time Network and Bias with a Little Truth, I'm on all sports. I'm on UFC fighting. I'm on it all. So yes, Reggie knows sports.
There you go.
And you heard it here.
There you go. Well, Reggie, this has been a blast. I had a day off today, so this was great to do on my day off. I ordered me some Papa John's earlier. Had that. You ever had their cinnamon pull-aparts from Papa John's?
I hadn't. I don't get some of those.
I haven't opened those up. I'm about to go put those in the oven. Enjoy the rest of my night. This was enjoyable. And I'm glad.
I don't think I want to get desserts from a pizza place. I don't think I want to get desserts.
I'm telling you, Papa John's has some really good desserts. I will stand by them. Wish me luck before we get out. Same way I'll stand by my Lakers. Listen.
Wish me luck.
Listen. You can bash the Cowboys all you want. I can't. It's hard for. Look, that relationship right there. It's on the rocks. It's really on the rocks. But I will never.
Eli said no to the Dodgers. We going for a 3-pay.
Well,
do you know our payroll?
You see what I got on? I
do not hate the Reds. I got
on the Reds jersey. I love.
I like the red, the big red machine. I'm not gonna say anything bad about the Reds. I just wish the owners. Hey, before we go off, 1 second.
Go ahead.
Baseball doesn't need a salary cap.
You think it needs a
baseball floor? They need a floor. The money that these teams are getting, they need to spend on their players. They're not spending the money. They're pocketing the money. If they would spend that money, they could be competitive. So don't hate on the Dodgers for spending money. The Stankies, yes, I said the Stankies, that's Daryl's team. They used to spend all the money for years. That's why they got so many championships. Then they would steal everybody's best player. They would take the players from the Boston Red Sox. I was so happy when the Mets beat that's the Boston Red Sox. But I hate the Stankies. I love that the Dodgers whooped the Stankies. Let's get off the show because I could go on for another hour about that. But I know sports, so if you ever need me, you let me know, buddy.
There we go. Awesome. Great show today. It was an honor being on Bias with the Little Truth.
I appreciate you, man.
Go check out our video. I put out a video today where we went over the WNBA's new collective bargaining agreement. We talked about that, so make sure to check that out. That is on the channel right now. It's a segment from our live show on Sunday. And then we have another show coming out, Side by Side. We'll have the next episode of that coming out tomorrow with me and Brandon Reef, recapping the NASCAR Cup Series at Darlington. But that's going to do it, folks. Thank you guys for watching. That's going to do it for this episode of Bias with a Little Truth, presented by the Game Time Network. See you guys.